qui dove il mare luccica e tira forte il vento, su una vecchia terrazza davanti al golfo di Sorrento. Un uomo abbraccia una ragazza dopo che aveva pianto, poi si schiarisce la voce e ricomincia il canto. In this video, you're gonna get to know a little bit more about the land of the pizza, as well as a place that was built on the water, and also about the different not only accents, but dialects spoken in Italy. I've talked to a friend of mine who's from Italy, and her name is Emily. I hope you had fun because this video was just amazing.
My name is Emily. I'm from Italy. I I stream on Twitch when I can, since I now have a full time job. But I've always been passionate about languages as well. And I've lived in Japan for a year, and I don't know. I play games. That's I think that's all I can say.
So, just to start off, asking you about your country, um, which dialects, like dialects is not something that Brazilians understand. Because here, although we have different accents, the language is pretty much the same everywhere. But I remember that I was talking to a guy from Italy, and he had what he said it was a Napolitan accent, and I was like, "Damn, Napolitan!" Because here in Brazil we have an ice cream which is very famous, and it's called Napolitano. And I was like, Napolitan, and he told me like, "Yeah, there are different dialects here, and sometimes we cannot really understand what the other person is saying." If we go to another place. And I was very curious about that. Emily, do you know different dialects? Like, what is your dialect?
So I live in northern Italy. I was raised. I have always lived in this little town. It was common for my grandma, for my aunt to speak a dialect, the dialect of my town, which could be described as just like a kind of like standard, just like a standard northern dialect. Um, it is still different from a dialect from, let's say, Milan, like the biggest, the bigger city that I have near me. Anyway, even though they often would speak in dialect, I could understand them, but I never really learned how to speak, which is something that I wanted to learn. But in when I was born, they were not taught in school anymore, because they used to, but nobody actually taught me how to speak the dialect. So I just know a couple of phrases, and I can kind of understand. But as you were saying, like other dialects, for example, like from the south of Italy, I have a much harder time understanding them because they're very different.
You just said something that I didn't know, something that I found really curious, really interesting. You said that dialects were taught. Like, this is not something that I can really relate to. That's very different for me, because I've heard of people saying like, yeah, you're taught. There was a guy earlier today that he was saying that in Belgium, he's from the south of Belgium, so he has to
Mhm.
learn Dutch, because in the north
Oh, okay.
they speak Dutch, and they learn French because French is from the south. But you just said something new. You don't learn languages. You maybe learn languages, but you also learn dialects, different dialect from your country.
Well, I think nowadays it's basically they're almost all gone, which is a really sad thing, because they're technically like languages, like
Yeah, languages are shrinking.
proper languages, and especially after, I think it was after Italy became a republic, that they just started teaching standard Italian. So they try to be like, okay, this is Italian, this is what you need to learn, you need to speak. Um, but I again, I'm pretty sure that it was like dialects were taught in schools as well. I hope I'm not saying something wrong. But again, after it became a republic, I'm sure that you know
Yeah, you just said
they were like, no.
you just said something important. I've never heard anyone talking about that, but yeah, that's true. We always have, let's say, the standardized form of a language, which is the one we see in the TV, like for Portuguese, for English, but our accent, and in your case, dialect, which is something that I don't have, is never taught. So we always have to learn it from by ourselves. Um, Emily, so now talking about places there. If I were to visit your country, if I were to visit Italy, could you recommend me maybe one or two places to visit there? Like, it's a huge country, but if you had to tell me, yeah, you can visit this place.
Personally, a city that I really like, it's Venice, just because it's, in my opinion, really pretty. It's very unique, especially if you're coming from, out of Italy and Europe. The idea of a city on the water, they have a lot of issues. Well, you would, as you can imagine, if it rains too much, the water goes up too much, like floods and all of that. But it is really pretty, and like the Carnival of Venice is also very very pretty. Um, but there's a saying, like I like Venice, but I wouldn't live there. So I think it's a really good option if you just want to visit. And another one, which I personally never been to, but everybody says, uh, you go to Naples and then die. In the sense that, okay, now that you've seen Naples, you can die. It's fine. You've done what you had to do in your life.
So you haven't been there
So
because
because
you don't want to
apparently
die.
that's a good way to of seeing
Oh,
seeing it. But no, I've never been, because I don't know, I've never really had the chance. But I do want to go there because I have some friends over there as well.
Venice is one of the most interesting places I've ever heard about because, like, I didn't really know until 2025 that this place was actually created. Like, they got it together and now they live there, and there were a lot of canals and stuff like this. I was really really amazed by hearing it. But then you said something that I didn't know. You told me that you had carnival. You had carnival there, just like here in Brazil. You have a carnival.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's probably less, your carnival is difficult to beat, but I think it's a bit of a different kind of a carnival. There's a lot of mask, like traditional Venetian masks. Because I think, again, I hope I'm not wrong. I believe the Carnival in Venice is, there is the whole culture of, it connects also to literature, like some figures, like I'm not sure how their names are in English, but like Arlecchino, Pulcinella, like all the different, yeah, like the carnival mask. I don't know how else to say that in English.
I see. If you were to recommend me three dishes that are special for you, Emily.
So I would probably say one of them is cotoletta alla milanese, which is like meat. I think it's usually
But the word in
actually
Italian is fancier than in English.
cotoletta. Yeah, just like meat with breadcrumbs, like, and not deep fried, just like fried, I guess. Um, and it's really, as the name suggests, it's common in in Milan because it's cotoletta alla milanese. It's like
Cotoletta alla milanese.
Milanese style. Yes, Milanese style cotoletta. Um, Another one which and so this one I'm recommending because it was my go-to in restaurants when I was a kid. Just I just really liked it a lot. And another one that I would recommend is from another region of Italy. It's called Pianina.
Pianina.
It looks like it might look like a tortilla. It's just like this circular dough, and you can just fill it with whatever you want. And it's in the region of Emilia Romagna. It's very popular.
Bread used to be
This
just
thing
like
is very
this a long
popular.
time ago, like a long, long time ago. Bread was
Yeah,
just like this. Emily, yeah, oh, you still have to say
and
that.
and of course pizza, and of course pizza because of course
Yeah, pizza with ketchup. That's true, that's true.
that well maybe not with ketchup, but
Emily, now I'd like to try a game with you. I have some sentences here, and I was talking to that guy from Belgium earlier today, and he speaks French. So I was trying to see if he could understand what I was saying. And now I wanna see the perspective of someone who speaks Italian. Let's see if you
okay,
can get what I'm gonna say. But I know that you kind of know some things from Portuguese and Spanish, so maybe it's gonna be way easier for you.
we'll see. And I have two coworkers that are from Brazil, so
You're cheating, cheating.
we'll see, we'll see.
Okay, so the first one is a música é magnífica. A música é magnífica.
That is way too easy for me because it's basically just to say la musica è magnifica
Yeah, it's the
in
same.
Italian. It's basically the same. So yeah.
Okay, so the second one is é possível fazer isso? É possível fazer isso?
Is it possible to do this?
Yeah! Easy, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Now
È possibile fare questo? È
é possível
possibile,
fare
yeah.
questo.
It's very like book, like literal translation in Italian, but yeah,
How to say
it's kind of
it
similar.
informally?
È possibile farlo, and that farlo, it's referring to it, to that thing.
É possível farlo. So the third one is o menu é excelente. O menu é excelente.
Again, very easy. The menu is excellent. Il menù è eccellente.
Excelente.
Again, it's just the same.
So fourth one, um, eles são meus amigos. Eles são meus amigos.
They are my friends.
Yeah, they are my friends. I was wondering.
I wasn't too sure about the first one, the first word, but then I could understand like through
I was curious.
the rest.
I was
Like,
curious
I'm
about the
guessing.
pronoun, like eles. I was like, I wonder if she's gonna get it because eles is very different from Italian. And now, last one. Ela
All right,
adora essa canção. Ela adora essa canção.
that's again a very easy one. Like she very likes this song. She likes this song very much. Lei adora questa canzone.
Lei adora questa canzone. I see. Okay, so now I'd like to ask you a question. And this question is related to you because I noticed that you don't really have an Italian accent. How did you manage to learn this language, Emily? Was it at school or did you learn it by yourself?
It's kind of a tricky question because I never know how to answer exactly because I don't really know myself what happened. I remember that when I was a kid, we start studying English from the second year of elementary school. So basically when you're like 6, 7. And I was always like good at it, not like amazing, just like I liked English. And when I was in high school, I noticed that I would spend more and more time online, watching YouTube videos, uh, following people on Twitter, so just like reading English as well. And after a while, I just realized that I could like understand a lot of the videos that I was watching, without subtitles, without translation. And I am sure that a lot of the things that I learned in school, helped me have a foundation for my English knowledge. But then it was also the whole, all the everything that I found online that helped me immerse myself, because I think immersion is the best way to learn a
And
language.
is it something common for Italians? Because here in Brazil, maybe 5% of people are gonna say something in English, 5%, and 1% is actually gonna be able to talk to you fluently in this language, have an entire conversation. Is it the same in Italy, or like you have a lot of people who can talk to you in this language?
I think it's pretty much the same. Maybe it's like in bigger cities, it's easier to find someone that speaks English, but it's probably still gonna be a very basic English, like very school level. Where is this? This is how much is this? You can do very very easy conversation. And I think a lot of the people still have the stereotypical Italian accent. So, and especially, if you go to a place where, let's say, more, elder people work there, it's gonna be very challenging to find someone that actually speaks English and understands you.
So, just to finish it up, I want to know something that you don't like about your country, about Italy.
I think it's the fact that um, the stereotypical, the common Italian person's mentality is still very like narrow-minded. There's a lot of judgment a lot of the times, or like, why do you do this, or why do you do that? Why are you like because I want to, it's my life. I can do what I want, but there's always this like judgment, and especially when it comes to people of different religions and colors and sexuality, all of that. There is a lot of bigotry and and this is also reflected in the politics, or the politics also reflect, it goes both ways. So that's something that I don't really
I
like.
see. It's not a place like Canada, for example. It's a place where people
Mm.
are more conservative. I see.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, there was just one question that I forgot to ask you. I'm taking a look at my notes here, and this one is really important for me. What's something that you think you can only find there, or it's just something special there that you say like, okay, this tells me this is my home. This is something special about Italy that I will not find in Brazil or in the United States or anywhere else.
Well, I'm not sure about in Brazil or other countries, because I'm sure each country has you know its own good things. But there is something, for me at least, something about certain products, certain food items, that, like, for example, when I was living in Japan, yes, I could still find the same kind of cheese, the same kind of bread, but it was not the same. Like, there is that something that is like, it's different. And I think it's common with uh whole foods, like, I don't know, like tomatoes and olive oil, or especially olive oil, now that I think about it. And like bread, like pizza, the pizza
I
dough.
always try to imagine a person from Italy trying their dishes elsewhere. Like I'm gonna try the Brazilian pizza. I'm always curious about that.
My Brazilian colleagues, uh, told me about the Brazilian
Chocolate
pizza.
pizza.
It's like, yeah, all kinds of pizza, and I'm always like, oh, what do you mean? And I'm generally not that kind of person. It's like, oh no, you cannot
But
do
it's
this.
just too
I'm
much
not
here.
the cooking police. Yeah, it's not. I'm not the cooking police, but at the same time, there is just some things that I'm like, that feels too much.
Okay, Emily. So thank you so much for being here today. Again, it's very special for me.
No worries. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
As I always say, I never know how to end a conversation, so I will just count from 3 to 1 and finish it. Okay?
All right. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Obrigada.
Damn, my Italian should be better because I was going to talk to you. I want to say different things that I know that are not related to Italian. Grazie mille, grazie mille. Yeah, grazie mille. That's the one.
Yes. Good one. Good one. Yes. Yes.
Okay, Emily. So three,
All right.
2, 1, and see you.
Bye bye.